Nastassja Kinski plays Sandra, and Sandra has unwisely chosen to hack into her husband's online account and poses him in a singles chat room. There she vies for the attention of a young woman with another user. Unfortunately, this third party is a master hacker and a cold-blooded killer. A deadly game of digital cat and mouse ensues. The late 90s and early 2000s, a time when the World Wide Web was just starting to make its way into almost every home. I mean, my God, those AOL CD discs that boasted thousands of free online hours were everywhere. I remember getting those things in the mail on a weekly basis. You'd open a magazine and they'd come pouring out. They had them situated right next to the Milky Ways and the Big League Chew at the checkout counter. And I'll never get the hellish sound of a dial-up modem out of my head. The internet gave us all access to each other via chat rooms, instant messenger, and the like. The internet also not only gave us the opportunity to fulfill our deepest, darkest, and dirtiest desires in the comfort of our own homes, but allowed, even encouraged us, to develop even deeper, far darker, and infinitely dirtier ones. And that's where .com for Murder calls home. .com for Murder is written and directed by Greek filmmaker Nico Mastorakis. I'm a big fan of his films The Zero Boys and The Wind, both I highly recommend. Mastorakis has a unique visual and narrative style. He was subverting expectations long before it was trendy, and kinda cringy to do so. So .com for Murder is a techno-thriller. The thriller part of it is handled pretty well. We don't get a big body count or anything like that. Mastorakis is far more interested in putting his characters in mortal danger and see how they wiggle their way out, rather than simply killing them off. That's not to say the killer here doesn't put in a little work. And speaking of the killer, Mastorakis gives him a little more depth than you'd probably expect. He's a bit of an emo. He'll kill you all the same, but he'll serenade you with poetry first, and then retire back to his place and have a cry in the shower after. When he's not out stalking his victims, he spends his time in singles chat rooms, seeking out new victims. In this case, it's Sandra and her sister Misty, played by Nicollette Sheridan. Sandra actually provokes the guy, which is very unfortunate for the woman whose attention they're both fighting for. See, if he can't have her, no one will. A murder he provides Sandra and Misty a front row ticket to via live stream. Calling the police to report witnessing a murder on the internet actually goes much better than expected, because the two are soon connected to an FBI agent. An FBI agent played by Huey Lewis.
You like Huey Lewis in the news? And Sports came out in '83. I think they really came into their own.
But by this point, the killer has already tracked Sandra and Misty down using Sandra's IP address. And he's hacked into the computer, the phone, and the home security system. So what have we learned about the internet thus far? Don't provoke people on the internet. You never know. You may be provoking a psychotic super hacker who lives in the same town as you. Don't arrange to meet people IRL who you just met on the internet. Your odds of being murdered exponentially increase. Invest in a good VPN. And speaking of which, follow the link in the description or head over to surfshark.deals/Pizowell and use promo code Pizowell to get 83% off and your first 3 months absolutely free of Surfshark VPN. There's plenty of cheesy moments in .com for Murder, mostly having to do with how computers and the internet works, combined with what passed for CGI at that time. I guess a series of ones and zeros on a computer screen isn't very cinematic, but whatever. The movie also wants you to believe that in-home tech support is available in large cities, even in the middle of the night. Oh, and Huey Lewis's FBI agent, he works odd hours, including the middle of the night. .com for Murder boasts a great cast. Kinski and Sheridan lead the way, Huey Lewis and Melinda Clarke bring up the rear, and the Who's Roger Daltrey stops by for a while. It's a well-made movie despite the questionable techie logic, there's plenty of atmosphere, and for the first 2/3 of the movie, the pacing is pretty tight. The movie does drag in the final act, it goes on for way too long, and it gets pretty silly toward the end. Still, .com for Murder is a tight little thriller. It's not going to knock your socks off or anything, but it's definitely worth a watch, and in no way is deserving of the 2.5 rating it currently sits at on the IMDb. As for the picture quality and sound quality on this new special edition release from Arrow Video, I thought both were quite good. There are some moments, particularly toward the beginning, that looked a little low res, but the picture quality improved significantly from there, providing a nice amount of detail and clarity, which makes Mastorakis' atmospherics all the more immersive. For audio, we get both a DTS HD Master Audio 5.0 and 2.0. I chose to watch the movie with the 2.0 track, and I thought it sounded clean, clear, and full. I'd give both the picture quality and the sound quality on this release a solid 4 out of 5. As far as extras are concerned, first up we have The Making of .com for Murder. It's 38 minutes and 1 second in length. It's a vintage behind-the-scenes featurette including interviews with writer and director Nico Mastorakis, Roger Daltrey, and Huey Lewis. Mr. Mastorakis discusses how Hitchcock inspired .com for Murder, the many hours he spent on the net doing research, wanting to make the killer a compassionate killer. He discusses his affinity for thrillers, casting Roger Daltrey, Huey Lewis, Melinda Clark, Nastassja Kinski, and so forth. He discusses the shooting locations, the gadgets, and technical aspects of the film. Mr. Daltrey discusses his role, being attracted to acting, and the parallels between acting and rocking. Mr. Lewis discusses working with Nico Mastorakis and how he's monitored and limited his own children's access to the internet. Mr. Mastorakis discusses the editing process, the score, and much more. Next we have .com for Murder, the unknown story in which Nico Mastorakis revisits the production. It's 28 minutes and 10 seconds in length. Mr. Mastorakis discusses a number of things here, but the most interesting being how he suspects that .com for Murder's rating on the IMDb has been sabotaged by a vengeful actor or actress who purchased thousands of one-star votes. One-star votes, or one-star ratings, I should say. It's quite a little wormhole that Mr. Mastorakis goes down here, in which he discovers a website where you can buy one-star ratings, 10-star ratings, any number of star ratings for a price, and bots will vote up or vote down the rating of any movie. Next, we get an unedited archival interview with Roger Daltrey. It's 20 minutes and 27 seconds in length. We get an unedited archival interview with Huey Lewis, which is 9 minutes and 56 seconds in length, and we get a trailer and image gallery. This is a very nice special edition release for .com for Murder from the fine folks over at Arrow Video. If you've not seen .com for Murder, I recommend it. If you are a fan of .com for Murder, then this release should be in your collection. If you've seen .com for Murder, let me know your thoughts on the film down in the comments section below. And while you're down there, let me know what your favorite Nico Mastorakis film is. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Thank you to all my patrons and channel members. I appreciate your generosity and support of my channel. Become a patron today and have a say in what content appears on my channel. Join me for monthly live streams and much more. Become a channel member today and get access to exclusive badges and emotes to use when I stream. Both those links are in the description. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.